Hello everyone, my name is Aurora Matrix and I am one of the instructors for the Drag Academy with the Concerned Kids Charity of Toronto. In my class Drag It Up with Aurora Matrix, I will be going through my step-by-step makeup routine and giving you all a tutorial on how I achieve my classic drag makeup. Today I'm going to be going through all of the different products that I like to use in my makeup routine, so let's begin. First off, I like to glue down my brows. A lot of drag performers will glue down their brows to create a flat surface and a blank canvas so that we have no texture getting in the way of all of our new facial features that we'll be putting on. So I start off with an Elmer's glue stick to glue down the brow hairs. And to set that, we will use a translucent setting powder. And we make sure it's a translucent setting powder so there's no pigment to it. After you put it on and you brush it away, there should be no color on your brows. Moving on, I like to use a primer to prep my skin for all of the makeup that we use. I know a lot of people like to use their moisturizers to prep their skin as well, so you can use a moisturizing cream that you already use at home instead of a primer if you'd like. Moving on, we have our foundation. My go-to is the Makeup Forever HD foundation stick, and this is what it looks like. Matches my skin tone. And I find that foundation sticks work a lot better than liquid foundation because it has a lot more coverage. So you can use whatever you think works best for your skin. After that, we will also be highlighting and contouring. So with highlight, I like to use a concealer that is a couple shades lighter than my skin to bring light to my face. And then for contour, I like to use a foundation stick that's a couple shades darker to kind of bring more of the shadows into my face. Moving right along, we will set all of our foundation and creams and liquids with setting powder. Now, the setting powder I use here is colored, so you can see that these have pigment to them and they match my skin tone to further emphasize all the highlights and contours we have done before. After that, we move on to contour, bronzer, and blush. The contour palette I like to use is the Shade and Light Contour Palette from Kat Von D. This is what it looks like. It's a powder contour palette. It has 3 different shades and it's perfect for matching the skin color of my face. Then we have blush. I use a bright red blush, or sometimes I use corals or oranges. I personally really like to use rich dark colors just because it matches my skin tone, but you get to decide what kind of blush you want to use. So if you want to use more pinks or oranges or reds, that's all up to you. Moving on, I like to use the Hoola Benefit Bronzer. This is what it looks like on the inside. And bronzer just adds a lot of warmth and color back to your skin after already blanking everything out with your foundation and highlights. After that, we also have highlighter. So highlighter is kind of like a shimmery powder that we put onto the high points of our cheeks. So our cheeks, our nose, our brows, our lips, our chin, and this just helps draw attention to certain parts of our face. Now, after we are done with all of our face makeup, my favorite part is next, which is eyeshadow. And eyeshadow is actually the part of my class that you get to decide what colors you use. Now, a lot of people will prefer either going with red eyeshadows or blues. There are lots of palettes out there for you to choose from, or some people like to choose palettes that have a little bit of both. Personally, I love to do super colorful and creative makeup, so my go-to palette is the James Charles Morphe palette. Now, this palette, I'll show you in a second, is my favorite because it is a rainbow palette. It has all the colors in the world and it's perfect. It's great that everything is right here in one palette, especially a nice bright white and a nice dark black. So again, this eyeshadow portion is where you get to decide what colors you want to use, what color scheme you would like to do. So that's all on you. Now, moving on from eyeshadow, we will also be using liners. The 2 liners I like to use are the NYX Epic Liner in black, and this is a liquid liner, and we will use this to create a nice flick or a wing. And under our eyes, we will also be using a white eyeliner. I like to use a white liquid liner, and this just helps brighten up the eyes and open it up to give the illusion that our eyes are bigger. For lashes, I like to use just any old mascara. This doesn't have to be any specific brand. I just find that using a mascara will help take off any of the powders that might have set onto our brows, or our eyelashes, and given it a bit of a white cast. And to cover all of that up, we will be using some lashes. These are the ones that I like to use. These are nice and big and they're super dramatic, and it really helps make my eyes look nice and big on stage. Especially with all of the stage lights, you definitely don't want your face to be washed out. Moving right along to our last step, we have lips. So I like to use a nice burgundy lip liner, and this just kind of creates a nice contour and outlines the lips. And then we also have a liquid lipstick. I like to use a nice dark nude. Other people like to use bright colors or anything, but for my class, I will be using a dark nude. On top of that, you can also use bullet lipsticks instead of liquid lipsticks, whatever you think works best for you. Now to finish it off, we like to use setting spray. Now setting spray kind of just creates a nice mist on your face to set all the makeup down. It also helps melt down any of the powders on your face so it doesn't look too cakey or powdery. And of course, after we are done all of our makeup, we have makeup remover to take it all off. Now, one thing I also want to mention is that we will be using a lot of different face tools. So I have some big brushes to kind of do our big face makeup. So blending in foundation or doing the bronzer or the highlighting or the blush, you will be needing some big makeup brushes. Now for our eyes and any detail work, I like to use smaller eyeshadow brushes. So this is an example of what one might look like. And these will just be very helpful to blend all the smaller details in our eyes. On top of that, we will also be using makeup sponges to blend all of our foundation and contour and highlight. So make sure you have a makeup sponge with you. And that is all of the products that I will be using in my makeup class. If you want more information, you can go to dragacademy.ca and look at all the information about my class. And if you're interested, feel free to register and I will see you all very soon. My name is Aurora Matrix and this is Drag It Up with Aurora Matrix. See you all soon. Bye-bye.